Hey everybody, welcome back to Review a Day, episode number 185. I'm Leland and thank you guys for joining me. I had mentioned that the next film review I was doing was the new independent, really buzzed about horror film, The House of the Devil. I'm a goddamn liar and I'm reviewing The Men Who Stare at Goats today, but if you're interested in my review of that, make sure you tune back today or in the next 2 days or so. I'm going to be doing my review of that. Very interesting little movie. I'm very excited to give my thoughts on the film. The movie I'm reviewing for you guys today, The Men Who Stare at Goats, and this is the new George Clooney comedy, directed by longtime George Clooney collaborator Grant Heslov, who I believe helped write Good Night and Good Luck. He's often a producing partner with George Clooney. He was involved with the HBO series that George Clooney produced that I absolutely loved, Unscripted. He was involved with that show. Unscripted, one of my favorite HBO shows ever, probably. If you haven't checked it out, they did one season, and if you like kind of that mockumentary style, check it out because it's really, really an interesting series. I really quite love it. The Men Who Stare at Goats, though, we got George Clooney in this movie, Ewan McGregor, love him, Jeff Bridges, love him, Kevin Spacey, love him sometimes. This movie, though, is supposedly based on a true story about a secret military group that were training U.S. soldiers to be super spies, to be psychics, that they would be able to kill goats with their brains, that they can dissipate clouds just by looking at them, and all these different kind of psychological, psychic things. And Ewan McGregor in this movie plays the journalist who kind of stumbles upon this story one way or another, meets George Clooney, and they kind of set out on this really absurd adventure where George Clooney tells the true story of Jeff Bridges, who was this military officer who started this new group, kind of a new age hippie thing about not wanting to hurt people when they're going to do it with their brains. This movie is absolutely absurd, and I think you can definitely pull that from the title. If you're looking for something really grounded and real, don't even go anywhere near this movie. This movie really seems to be in the tradition of films like Catch-22 or Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Love the Atomic Bomb. It feels like something Kurt Vonnegut could have written, and I really love absurd. I think real life is completely absurd, and I like movies that really embrace that. This movie deals with some pretty sad things, war, the Vietnam War, Iraq, Afghanistan, stuff like that, but it's set against a really absurd background, and I think it really works for a couple reasons. I think the actors, for the most part, play it really straight, and I think that's one of the strongest points about this movie, is that the characters believe it. And that is what's funny. That's what's funny to me about this movie, was that they played it straight. So I definitely really dug that. I think one of the reasons it works is because you have just some really top-notch performances. Jeff Bridges, I thought, was really perfect, playing something similar to the dude. He's not playing the dude here. I keep hearing everyone saying that he's the Big Lebowski in this movie. He's definitely not. He was a lot of fun to see him in a military outfit with a braid. Kevin Spacey is really only in a handful of scenes in this movie, but he absolutely walks away with every single scene. I really love seeing guys like George Clooney and Kevin Spacey, actors who do really serious actory movies. Like, I always think about Pay It Forward when I think about kind of quintessential sad bastard Kevin Spacey movies. And I get pissed when I see him in movies like this because he's so great and so funny. I always wish people like Denzel Washington would do more comedies, because they're such charismatic, great actors that when you see them in a comedy, it really makes me sad that they don't do more movies like that. I will say that this movie doesn't always completely work. I think 3/4 of it was absolutely hilarious and I loved it. The last quarter I thought dragged a little bit, as comedies tend to do when the plot kind of starts to kick in. I also think it tries to be a little bit more than I wanted it to be, but whatever. I really, for the most part, didn't really mind that stuff because I thought what worked in this movie works so well. The movie's absolutely absurd. It's as absurd as a movie that's called The Men Who Stare at Goats should be. I give The Men Who Stare at Goats, I can't believe I'm saying that name so many goddamn times, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. If you're looking for something really funny to check out at the movies this weekend, I really recommend this movie. If you guys like this review, make sure to head over to nitpickit.com or Dampercast and check out the podcasts I do. I'll see you guys next time.